All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. I just realized something. I'm gonna do. It's too late now. Anyway, this is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show, where I talk to you about rumors surrounding the Arsenal. Now. I've got a few stories to bang through. If you are someone who watches my community posts, you will know this already. So do bear with me. You know what I do normally. Um, I'll just run through these stories and then I'll come and see you guys in the chat room. But big up to everyone. Big up to Rich as always. Loyal one, that one. Real one, that one, as Lee would say. Big up to Jahid, Omar, Stephen. I see you all. Let's get to it. I hope you guys are all well, first and foremost. Let's get to the main story. And that is our captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Supposedly, it's being widely reported at the moment that Arsenal have just essentially decided to take a potential talk of a new deal for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The initial plan prior to all this pandemic stuff was the fact that they were going to go and approach Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with essentially a final, improved last offer. Obviously, since this whole thing has come about, finances have had to be rethought, rejigged, and the thought process now is that Arsenal are a lot more open to the idea about selling Aubameyang than they were previously. Georgie, I'm going to do a show with Ola and Will at 9:30 on what is that channel called? The Combat Show. On the Combat Show. So you always ask me UFC questions. That is the channel for UFC questions. So we'll be able to talk more about May 9th on that channel. So do come catch us on that channel. Terry Diesel, I hope you're well. All right, let's get to it. So supposedly Arsenal taking the deal now off the table completely, and Arsenal are a lot more open to selling him. Obviously, there were rumors a few weeks ago. You'll remember me talking about this. In fact, you'll remember me putting this on my community post that actually Arsenal's valuation of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang had rapidly dropped from 50 million pounds to 35 million, and that is in light of what the economic environment looks like these days. I think one of the things that we need to also get used to is that, this Thomas Partey deal, for example, on the one hand, yes, we're used to players going for a lot more money. I think you're going to see less of that this year and this summer, and that's why the window may not be as active as it was, per se, last year's summer. So I think people need to kind of get used to that idea. 35 million is going to be seen as the new 50 million almost. Remember, it was the Mbappe deal that actually inflated everything. And now, obviously, with everything that's happened, now the Aubameyang deal looks like it could be cheap as chips, which is obviously not what we want to hear as fans, particularly because if we are going to sell Aubameyang, we need to reinvest that money. I still feel like we can drive closer to that 50 million, though. And I hope the club don't just settle for anything. Me personally, my biggest concern and worry is the fact that we will sell him to a rival. I've always said, and I've always maintained, for me, selling Aubameyang is not so much of an issue. Yes, of course, you want a striker of that caliber to stay, and there's no doubt about it. It seems like every time we make someone captain, they're at risk of leaving. That's why I didn't think he was a good idea as someone to be captain, not because he's not a talismanic figure, but more because, yet again, we're picking someone else who's about to leave the club. It doesn't send a good message to the rest of your players. But, I always felt like if we sold him abroad and got the max value out of him, I'd be open to the idea because whilst I think he's brilliant, he's also turning 31 this summer. And I personally think that he's already started to slow down speed-wise. I still think the acceleration is there, but I think his general pace is starting to slow down. And I think it will only continue slowing down. Is he still A brilliant goal scorer, a world-class goal scorer, absolutely. Don't think he's necessarily a world-class striker, but a world-class goal scorer, absolutely, absolutely. And I say that because I don't think necessarily he can lead a line by himself. And I think that's a lot of the reason why Arteta plays him on the left-hand side. Um, but, by the by, it is what it is. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, it looks like Arsenal are willing to listen to offers. Obviously, we've learned this week that Chelsea are very much interested in buying him, as are Man United. I think it's frustrating from an Arsenal fan point of view because we always hear about your Man Uniteds, your Man Cities, your Chelseas, even your Liverpools being linked with our players. Why is it we're never linked with their players? It's so frustrating as an Arsenal fan. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat room. Remember, I can't see the chat room at this second, so I'm just going through various different stories. But let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. Right, let's start running through some stories, baby. Let's talk about Mesut Ozil. Diesel, I hear it's your favorite player. Mesut Ozil. Well, he's been linked with a move to DC United. Unfortunately, it is not for this summer. It is for next summer. Yes, it's been much speculated that Mesut Ozil would quite like to spend a couple of years in America. Obviously, I think everybody knows that he wants to finish his actual playing career in Turkey. I still think that will happen, but I think prior to doing that, he'll probably look to spend a year or two out in America. For anyone who doesn't know, he owns a coffee shop. One of the places he's always wanted to own a coffee shop is in America because, quite frankly, if you are a coffee chain, the place you want to be is in America. They drink a hell of coffee. They drink a load of coffee out in America. So it's perfectly understandable to me. From a business point of view, from even a career playing point of view, the guy is slowing down. If I'm really trying to take bias out of it. I'm really trying to take bias out of it. From his point of view, he's 31 years old. He's looking at his various different options. And I think America is a good option for him. I think it would definitely be between Fenerbahce and America. I can't see him going this summer. I know I saw lots of rumors yesterday and this morning about the fact that technically he can, as part of his contract, can ask for his contract to be cancelled through no fault of his own because Arsenal have officially asked him to take a pay cut. So it's part of that breach of, apparently it's a part of a breach of contract, which I have heard of before, but it's a very rare thing. But technically, if you ask someone for a pay cut, you are breaching their contract if you've negotiated it as part of that contract. He obviously has. Most high level players usually do. And as part of those terms and conditions, he's able to he's able to ask the club to cancel his contract with no repercussions and no fees to be paid to the club or anything. Gosh, if only. But there ain't no way he's missing out on, what is it, 18 million? This last 18 million? There ain't no chance he's asking to do that. But I think I could see him in America. I could see that being a marquee Beckham level type of signing for them. Because whether you think the guy is a good player or not, he's a marquee name. I think even Diesel will admit that, even League will admit that. So I could see himself making a decent name for himself out there. What do you guys think? Let me know. You know what to do. Leave the comments down below in the comment section. I like interacting with you guys after the show. And also in the chat room. I hope you guys are drilling that crap out of that like button in the chat room, by the way, guys. You guys have been awesome. Last couple of shows, whew, awesome. And it's reflected, it's helped with the views. It's helped just pick up the views over. I've always got a certain number of views in mind whenever I do these shows. Excuse me. So whenever I get to that minimum number, I'm happy. Them likes make a difference. So the like squad, please in my like squad. Jump on that, drill the like button for me. You know I appreciate it when you guys do that. The best form of donation I can receive. It really is. All right, let's talk about the Feyenoord attacking midfielder, Orkan Koku. Now, I know this is a player that I think a lot of people like, a lot of people are excited about. Quite frankly, because attacking signings always excite people. They just do. He seems like a good player, can play either in the number 8 or number 10 position. Seems to have been playing in a mixture of both for Feyenoord. And he's a good player, very technical player. Feyenoord have this ability of developing young players and pushing. To be fair, let me take that back. The Dutch league generally have a very good record of developing youngsters and making them into something. You know, PSV have a good ability of developing young talent. Ajax are famed for developing young talent, and as are Feyenoord. And this is Feyenoord's latest one. Unfortunately, Feyenoord have become quite a selling club. They're always constantly in debt. And in their particular situation, especially with the current pandemic, they're actually trying to buy a couple of players, one of which is by the name of, and I've actually written this down somewhere, Joey Verman, who is Herveen's, I think he's a midfielder of Herveen's. He's 19 years old, so they're trying to buy him. So they're hoping that the money from the players that they sell will be able to help buy this Joey character. Obviously, we know that Koku, at least prior to the pandemic, was rated about £23 million. It'll be interesting to see the value of him now. I still think, given his age, given his ceiling, he'll probably command at least £20 million. I think it would be sensible to plan for a Mesut Ozil. I don't think we have enough central creative midfielders. So I think that this actually would be a sensible move to go for. A youngster who, I don't know about learning from Mesut, but I guess, listen, we'd be naive. Even me, as someone who does not rate Mesut, I'll be naive to think that a Turkish attacking midfielder doesn't look up to a Turkish-born German. I'm not silly. I definitely understand that. I understand that. You'll probably idolize a Mesut Ozil. And perhaps, hopefully, that will push him. Listen, for those people who keep saying, "No, I'd rather Kai Havertz," and I don't know, by the way, I don't know you guys are actually saying that now in the chat room, but I assume that comment will be made at some point. Kai Havertz looks up to Mesut Ozil. So trust me when I say this, these people do look up to Mesut Ozil. And listen, if he's going to be here for the next 12 months, he better inspire somebody. Why not this kid? I like the look of him. I think he's technically very good. Seems to work quite hard as well. I could see why someone would look at him and think, that would be an interesting player for the number 8 position. Remember, regardless of when the season restarts, come next season, we're not going to have a Dani Ceballos. So maybe this might be a good alternative. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. All right. Let's talk about Leicester and Arsenal target Serdar Ozmun. Now, I'll be honest with you. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo who this is, although I did see his name being linked with Arsenal in January. That is about it. I genuinely have never heard of him. Supposedly, he's a really good striker, and Leicester are after him. Now, I promised I'd shout out one of my commenters on the community post. I'm just getting that name up right now because he made an excellent point. And I tell you what, I wanted to make sure I give him the credit, and that is Dali. And he made this point by saying this: if recent history is anything to go by, this guy is probably a gem of a player, considering that Leicester City are interested in him. It might be worth a punt. And I think that is a fair point. Because I'll tell you what, for everything we're doing wrong in the transfer market, Leicester City seems to do correctly. So it might be a player that we do need to look to look at closely. He is 25 years old. Just to give you some more stats, he plays for St. Petersburg. He was attracting English clubs before. Excuse me. Yeah, so he's been attracting the interest of 4 English clubs specifically. So it's Leicester, West Ham, Arsenal, and Everton. Some would argue that's about our level at the moment. And this season he scored 14 goals and 7 assists, which would be great if you're keeping someone like an Aubameyang, you're losing someone like a Lacazette, and you wanted to bring this guy in. Ain't bad. It's not bad at all. What do you guys think? He is 25 years old, just starting to come into the prime of his ability and career. But who knows? It might be something that. Sorry, I've just seen another story that's distracted me. It might be something that we should be keeping some interest in. But what do you guys think? Let me know. There's a quote I wanted to get to right now, and that's what is distracting me right at the moment. I'm losing my flow. Let me see if I could get it out. He's Iranian, by the way, this guy. And one of the things that a journalist said about him, a journalist called Nicolo Shahira, he basically said that he's a great talent. He lacks a bit of malice, but he is really strong and has good has a good technique and quality. He scores goals. He's quick. He's strong with his head. And he's made an excellent impression. Some have compared him to Belletti, but he's apparently more technical than Belletti. So that for me is encouraging to see. And listen, the way I see it is whenever I put these stories, and usually Omar will be the first one to say, know nothing about him. Right? These are the sort of players that Arsenal go for. So I will always bring them to attention so that you guys can have an opportunity to go see them. What do you guys think about this guy? Does he sound like someone that you might be interested in? Not necessarily as a first striker, but as a backup striker. What do you guys think? Let me know. Again, leave it in the chat room. Leave it in the comments below. Bear with me. Let's on to the next story as I go through them. Remember, drill that like button if you haven't already. Let's talk about Olympiacos defender. Oh, man. Oceanu Bar. I have almost definitely butchered that name. But he's 6'4". He's 24 years old. And according to Sports Witness, this is a player that we are monitoring. Obviously, I can imagine there are a lot of players that play for Olympiacos that we're monitoring, quite honestly, because they perform so well. Let's be real, over both games. I know we won the first game. Over both games, really, they performed so well. That I would imagine a lot of their players, for me, are getting close attention from the Arsenal scouts. It's very clear that we keep being linked with tall defenders. So tall defenders seems to be the object of the targets at the moment that we're looking for. It seems to be the objective. That was the word I was looking for. That we want to play alongside Saliba. I must admit, I've had a now rethink about this defense situation. That's a lot of the reason I've not done a video yet. I think Arsenal are going to buy Mari, and that's it. We've been linked with a permanent move for Mari today. And it occurred to me, wait a minute, Arsenal ain't going to sell 5 defenders, or however many defenders we actually need to sell. Like, when you really think about it, Arsenal ain't going to sell 5 defenders. So they ain't going to buy 2 defenders. Me personally, if it was me, I've said it before, I'd go and get Mari and one other. Just to refresh that defense and sell every other defender. Even if you said, all right, you want to keep Saliba and Luis, and sell everybody else. Every single one of them. And even Chambers, if necessary, sell them. Just sell every single one of them. Clear the decks. and raise money. But I've realised now that he's not going to do that. That he's probably going to keep Chambers. I've got a horrible feeling Mustafi is going to be kept. Murray and Saliba. I think that's going to be his lot. And then Louise, of course. So I've got this horrible feeling that the defenders he will sell is Holding and Socrates, because Socrates was bitching the other day. But I think that's it. I think that's the plan. So, oh man, I'm not comfortable with that. But what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Again, this is a type of defender that I like. I must admit, I'm only judging it over the 2 games that he played against us, because I ain't gonna even pretend like I watched the Greek league. But seems like a good player. A lot of the time, these Africans will go over to places like Greece and Turkey to learn their trade. It's not an unusual thing. This is another example here. But he looks athletic, big, controlled us like it was nothing. I'm pretty sure in one of these games, at least, he had Aubameyang, he had Lacazette. Was it Lacazette or Aubameyang in the back of his pocket? So, to me, I say, let's have a look at him. But again, what would you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Leave it in the chat room. All right. This story made me smile. David Luiz, it seems, has been dreaming, but not dreaming of a white Christmas. No, no, no. He's dreaming of a return to Benfica. For some unusual reason, David Luiz, while he was getting berated by the Arsenal club board, well, disciplinary crew, whoever, because him, Pepe, Xhaka, and Lacazette, for some stupid reason, breached lockdown rules yesterday, and they got caught slipping, more importantly. Suddenly came out with a statement that he spent 9 years playing for Benfica, and he can't wait to return to the outfit, basically. To quote him, he says, "I want to wear the Benfica shirt again and feel that sensation." And this was an interview by Sport TV and reported by the Daily Mirror. The day I come back to the Estado de Luis is going to be a very special, one of the greatest feelings of my life. David, you can go now, bro. I mean, real talk, you can go now. You don't need to wait until the end of your contract. Go now. 33 years old. Would you be sad to see David Luiz leave? I think it's clear where I stand. Where do you guys stand? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Leave it in the chat room. All right. Let's go with another big story before I come to the Convinga story. And that is the muscular, the Herculean. Arsenal have been linked with Adama Traore. This deal is set to cost around £70 million. Let me tell you something. If Arsenal do have money, this is the type of position they'd spend it. It's a lot of the reason why we have had the lack of success we've had, because instead of spending it in the areas we actually need to spend it in, we'll go and spend it on someone like a Traore. Now, obviously, this guy is in high demand. He's been linked with Liverpool for the longest time. He's registered 6 goals. He's had 10 assists this season, and that was prior to, obviously, the suspension of the season. Where do I stand with Traore? I think he's a hell of an athlete. Goodness gracious. I mean, listen, I'm very secure in my sexuality. Even I'm looking at those muscles thinking, rah. You know, I'm very much straight, but even I'm looking at them and I'm, goodness gracious. Especially the picture I put up on my community post. It is mad. But I've never seen a footballer with arms like that. Never. No thanks. I've never rated this kid. I'll be honest, I have never rated this kid. I think it's great for him that he's got 10 assists and 6 goals. But to me, he is Usain Bolt, just better, just slightly better at football. That's basically all it is. 24 years old, built like a brick shit house, absolutely no doubt of it. But for me, I just, why? To play on the left hand side? I mean, one would say, all right, why don't you just stick him on the left hand side and just let him bulldoze people? We need a left winger. Da, 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 da. I don't think we need a left winger that much. I don't rate this guy. I don't. I think he's the sort of guy that will go missing in the middle of the game. He's the sort of guy that kind of comes up with brilliance every now and again. I don't rate him. 24 years old, possibility he'll get better. It's a small possibility. It's a small possibility. So for me, no thanks. Not for 70 million, especially. I know I'll probably regret that because he'll move to Liverpool and then absolutely kill it. But yeah, nah. What do you guys think? He's a guy that will obviously split opinion because I think people will remember will know he's very inconsistent. He's one of these players that when he has a purple patch, he's killing it. But on a kind of a full season basis, would you trust him? I don't know, I honestly don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I might as well talk about this. You probably heard it to death. I will talk about this because obviously I went with it so hard in my last video, and that is Thomas Partey. Obviously, I have heard the news and seen the news of his agent who denied rumours that Arsenal in talks. I also see rumours today that talks of a new contract with Thomas Partey have been suspended until the end of the season. Understandably so, because I think a lot of clubs want to kind of reanalyze their situation come the end of the season. So the difference between Atletico Madrid and Thomas Partey and us and Aubameyang is they still have 2 years on Partey's deal. We don't. So this is the benefit of having that time and negotiating nice and early with the player, so that when you're in a situation like this, and yeah, this is a very unique situation, but they're not under any immediate pressure to start listening to offers. Arsenal now have to. And that's why I've gone with the story I've gone with. I thought it was a nice, comparable story. Now, from a perspective of do I think Arsenal will get Partey now? I think it's slimmer. If it rose up to 35% from his dad's comments, it's probably dropped to 15. I still won't say zero. I still don't think it's impossible. I think it. I mean, in that statement, I haven't heard Thomas Partey say, I am not interested in a move to Arsenal. I ain't heard that shit. Similarly, it must be said, because I know you guys are now about to say it in the chat room, I recognize we could just be a pawn being used as part of a contract negotiation. For me, if I was Arsenal, I would really think carefully about what I'm about to do this summer. Because if you sell Aubameyang, we're going to need something to pick us up. And I think if you could get a Dembele and a Partey in exchange for, say, an Aubameyang and a Torreira, I mean, most people would be like, yeah, all right, I'll take that. In fact, let me ask you guys that. What would you prefer? Aubameyang to play out his last season, go into his last final year, and to keep Torreira, or to sell Torreira, sell Aubameyang, get Partey, get Ousmane Dembele. Oh, sorry, not Ousmane Dembele. Eduardo, what is his name? The Celtic striker, is who I'm talking about, not Ousmane Dembele. The Celtic striker, Edward Dembele. Oh, I don't know. You know who I'm talking about. Edouard Ousmane, I think his name is. But what do you guys think? Leave it in the chat room. Leave it in the comments below. Once again, guys, oh my gosh, flipping hay fever. Once again, guys, please do, please, please, do drill that like button, like squad, jump on that thing. I know you guys hate me bitching about this, but it really helps the show get noticed. Once you guys absolutely abuse that like button. So abuse it for me, drill it, slap it like it done you some harm, just so the show can get some love and get some notice. And yeah, as much as we appreciate donations and super chats, I'm going to pretend like I don't. It helps the show because I reinvest it back into the show. What is more important is them likes. Them likes are the easiest form of donation you can make to the show, and it makes the difference. So please, please, please do stick a like on the video if you haven't already, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe first and foremost. All right, let's talk about this final story, especially in light of me talking about Thomas Partey, and that is Eduardo Camavinga. He is the 17, I'm sure everyone knows who he is now. He's a 17-year-old, highly coveted, highly rated Rennes midfielder. There isn't a team around that doesn't want this guy, which is why Arsenal have zero chance of getting him. I already know this, but let's pretend like make believe for a second. I do think his age gives us a slightly better chance of getting him than we would of getting Thomas Partey. Because if you're advising a 17-year-old, right, you would say to them, listen, realistically, are you going to go to Real Madrid and rot on the bench? You know, remember Martin Osgaard, and he was supposed to be this hot shit striker, right? Don't get me wrong, he's now starting to rebuild himself. I already know he's doing well. Don't get me wrong. When my man went to Madrid, you didn't see him again for 4 years, right? Whereas someone like that might be thinking to themselves, I've said this before on this channel, I'll say this again. If you are anywhere between 16 and 22, you don't go to a Barcelona, you don't go to a Real Madrid, you're not going to play football. So that's the only reason I give us even a little bit of a chance, because much sometimes to our detriment, we do play youngsters. And he is a hell of a youngster. I mean, absolutely killed it, has ran games this season. Ran games. Now, Partey ran games against Liverpool. My man has made almost as big a splash in some of the games that he's played at a high level for Rennes. Obviously, he is their marquee player, 17 years old, an excellent tackler. People have compared him to people like, I saw a little piece on, shout out to AFTV, that AFTV did with French football. You guys know I'm quite interested in French football, so I decided to watch that piece. And they did a piece on French football, and they mentioned this guy, and this guy potentially being in the realm of a Paul Pogba. Well, Arsenal, just as much as anyone else, is interested in him. They say he's a defensive midfielder, he's more a deep lying player that can almost gallop from more of a number 8 to me. But he's a good player, good player. I mean, I tell you what, potentially a new Thomas Partey, I think he's that good. I honestly think he could be that good as well. And he's a player that I think is interesting everyone in Europe, and Arsenal are no different. Arsenal are apparently trying to stage a plan of getting him should they secure Champions League football. I don't know what that plan is, but I guess it'll be just about throwing shitloads of money at him. But what do you guys think? I mean, this is a kid that I would love in the team. You know, we could do some sort of deal where we kind of throw Guendouzi their way, get rid of some freaking players. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments. Leave it in the chat room. All right, I'm going to come to the chat room, guys. Please absolutely drill that like button if you haven't already. I'm going to do 15 minutes with you guys now. Just Q&As, throw shit at me, predominantly about football, because we don't want to completely make the girls that are listening to this uncomfortable. But if you run out of football questions, throw any question you like at me. apart from UFC questions. The reason being is that me, Ola, and Will are doing a show on the Combat channel, Combat show. Uh, and that'll be going live in half an hour at 9:30. So make sure you go and join us on that. The link to that is in the description below. 9:30, the Combat show will go live. Make sure you join me, Ola, and Will. And we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about our 30 greatest British boxers. And then we're going to talk a lot about May 9th. So we got stuff to talk about. And you know Ola and Will like fighting like wife, husband and wife. So it should be interesting. Make sure you catch us on there. Chig Flicks, for those of you guys who are wondering, all right, Chig, you told me time ago you're going to put some stuff on Chig Flicks. I promise you, by the time the weekend is over, you're going to see 5 reviews on Chig Flicks. 5. So make sure you subscribe to Chig Flicks. Get me towards that 200 subscriber number. I'd appreciate if you guys do that. All right, let's see what you lot are saying in the chat. See what you lot are saying. Okay, first of all, let me catch the donations. My guy, the realist, Sergio, big up, big up, big up. Hope you're well, bro. Abuse the light. Preach. I support this message. Thank you, Sergio. I appreciate that, my bro. Okay, I ain't missed any other donations, have I? All right. All right, all right. Endgame is overrated, not a bad movie though. I'll tell you what it is with Endgame. Now I thought Infinity War was a more complete movie. Um Endgame was such a satisfying ending. And that's why people like it so much. What do I like to cook? Anything really. I do a mean chili. I do a decent roast, which people are always surprised by. Anything. I could cook anything. Nabri or Pepe? See, I love Pepe though. But yeah, Nabri, of course. Um, Chig, how many years do you give to Arteta? Well, Melina, as you know, I wouldn't have given Arteta the job in the first place. I think now that he's in the job, I think it all depends on what he's achieved. I don't think you can't set it as a minimum time. I think you have to say to yourself, if he's achieving stuff, then you give him more time. You know, I'd like to see the club give somebody a job on merit as opposed to, oh, well, it's the good thing to do is to give them some time. Because that's what all jobs should be. It should be about if you perform well, then you deserve longer. If you perform well, you deserve a bonus. If you perform well, then you keep your job on merit, you know? I'm not going to judge it by time. It all depends on what he achieves for me. Chig, would I buy Fekir or Usman Dembele? I wouldn't buy either, but if I had to get one on loan, I'd probably get Fekir just because Dembele injury record is horrendous. Uh, in terms of who I support, is AJ. In terms of who I think will win, is Fury. I think he'll be sacked by next season. I'm just scrolling up a little bit. Sergio, I see you've come through again like a hero. I'll catch your donation in a minute. Bear with me. Georgie, my favourite Leicester sub. Who was the last Arsenal? Who was the last player Arsenal bought in his prime from a Premier League team? Oh my gosh, that's a really good question. Guys, help me out with this one. I actually don't know. I don't know. Oh man, ain't that sad? Oh man, guys, help me out with that question from Georgie. When was the last player we bought in their prime? So their prime being before 29. Because Petr Cech was probably the last Premier League player we bought, that we actually bought. Uh, the funny thing is, that's why I quite like the Ryan Fraser free purchase, because he's in his prime at least. He's proven at least. That's why I quite like that idea. Tonelli would be a good scout, plus his team is bottom. Okay, Rich on this team. Let me catch Sergio's team. Chig, do you agree that with the RVP hate the hate that RVP gets? I cannot hate him at all. He had ambition and something to achieve. You know what? For me, I don't hate him, but I get the hate. I do get the hate. For me, Kenny Ked has brought this up before. My issue with RVP and even Sesk, to a degree, is that why do you have to lie about it for? Don't give me this nonsense about, oh, I was never given a contract. It's like, bruh, do you think I know it was only 9 years ago you left? You know, people don't have that small of a memory. And I remember 9 years ago. I remember like that these lot were begging for this man to stay. Don't get me wrong, I didn't hate on his reason for leaving at the time. But it's all this nonsense of, oh, well, Arsenal fans shouldn't abuse me because, I wasn't ever given a contract. I wasn't ever offered a contract. That is utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. Because if that was really the case, I would have said that from day dot. What were you losing at the end of the day? Why is it taking you 9 years to suddenly come out with a reason as to why you left? That's the nonsense I can't stand. I can't stand that. It's the same thing with the Sesh thing. It's like, bro, this thing happened ages ago. Why is it now, all of a sudden, you want to declare that, you wanted to start declaring reasons as to why you went to Chelsea? You wanted to go to Chelsea for going to Chelsea. Cool. Whatever. I've been defending you since then. Since I've been sorry, no, excuse me. His one was different because he tried to say that, oh, he didn't want to go to Barcelona. That's utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. Why you're not lying to us. You're lying to yourself. Uh, Immobile dropped at Immobile or Milik. Uh, Milik. Remember, guys, I literally 7 more minutes and I'm out. 7 more minutes. Did anyone actually answer that question? It was probably so Campbell. Probably was. And like you say, it was, yeah, you're right, Doji. It's Danny Welbeck, Georgie. Yeah. It's because it's Danny Welbeck, because Danny Welbeck was 26 when we got him. It's Danny Welbeck. Oh my gosh. It is Danny Welbeck. Oh man. Gosh, that's not a good thing. All right, 6 minutes and I'm out, guys. 6 minutes. Throw me some stuff. Throw me some stuff. Chig, I'll pass it on Traore. Me too, bro. Not for me. Enjoy the rest of your day, bro. I'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, brother. I will be doing a boxing show today. I've just been saying that to people. It will be the combat show. The link is in the description. Please subscribe to that channel. Me, Ola, and will be talking about various different stuff. Make sure you catch that. Daddy fullback. Fakir or Van der Beek? Oh, Van der Beek. But I rate Van der Beek highly. GDP2 is not trying to miss that show after last week. It was a lively show last week. So he's trying not to miss it this week. Invite Lee to the show. Oh, I believe we'll make his debut on the show at some point. I know the show to invite Lee on. It's not quite yet. What time is the show? 9:30. So in 20 minutes time, me, Ola, and will be going live. The combat show. The link is in the description. We talk UFC. We talk boxing. We'll be going ham. All right, guys, 5 more minutes and I'm out of here. Drill that like button, bro. Drill that like button. Oh, hell no. Listen, I love my cooking. The wife is a mean cook. Like, she a mean cook. She can cook. I ain't even lie. She's a bad cook. And I don't mean bad as in horrible. She knows what she's doing. I could tease her all day about all kinds of stuff, including her accent. I can't get at her when it comes to her cooking ability. Top three infuriating Arsenal moments. Oh, good question. The Champions League final. The 8-2. No, actually, the 8-2 wasn't even infuriating. It was just sad to me. I was just sad that day. The Worthington Cup final defeat to Birmingham. I was so angry. I was so angry because the Champions League final, I was angry, but I was angry to stupid things like I was angry about Muna letting in 2 goals at his near post. I was angry at Jens and I was angry at the ref. But generally, the boys, to be fair, actually did people proud. Oh, and I was angry at Thierry Henry for his one-on-one miss. The Birmingham is probably my number one. I might do a list on that. My top 5 infuriating moments as an Arsenal fan. And then probably the Chelsea 6-0. Yeah, that's up there. I'm sure there are other things, but that's pretty up there for me. I'll do some lists. I know you guys like lists. So I'll do some lists at some point. No, man. No. Obviously, it's Ramadan for you. So big up yourself. I hope, obviously, it goes well. It's part of your religion, bro. You got to do what you got to do. I was angry with Wenger, and Wenger. Not for the Champions League final, I wasn't. For the Worthington Cup, I was so angry with everybody. With Koscielny and Wenger. It was a tie. Koscielny and Wenger. Because they made Yakubu, who's a Nigerian player I've never particularly rated, bitch him, made him look like a bitch that day. Oh, I'm get started. Get me mad now. Get me mad now. Get me mad now. Just thinking about it. What do you think is the hottest celebrity in the world? You go with Cara Delevingne. See, for me, she'd be one of the coolest celebs to date because she swings both ways, but she also seems to be like genuinely quite cool. I don't know, brother. I'm still a big Beyonce fan. I gotta admit. No, Nimsy always beefing, bro. Why are you always beefing people? Always beefing. I hope you're well, though. I hope you're well. Leave Omar alone, man. He's a young man. Leave him alone. Are you into NFL at all? Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but I'm a fan. I genuinely have a good idea what's going on. Like I know my man recently got traded to the Buccaneers, um, purely because 2 of my friends are massive fans of it. So we have a Premier League chat, and a lot of the time our Premier League chat NFL takes over that chat. So I do have a reasonably good idea what's going on. Chig, who would you say is better, Sanchez or Aubameyang? That's a good question. Who has had a better Arsenal career? In all honesty, you'd probably have to say excuse me, you'd probably have to say Sanchez. Sanchez won stuff. I mean, and I think that's the only criticism I'll have for Aubameyang. He came to this club wanting to be an Arsenal legend and left not winning a damn thing. Whereas Sanchez came to this club and won cups. So Sanchez has had a better impact in the team and therefore has probably had the better Arsenal career. So yeah. There's my co-host for the combat show. Ola, you taking up arguing with Will duties today? Because I'm a bit tired. I can't be asked to argue with him today. So it's back on you, bro. Back on you. You can resume duties. But like I keep saying, Ola can see his picture. I don't know what that picture's about. But he's one of the people I do a boxing show with called The Combat Show. The link is in the description below. Make sure you click on that. 104 subscribers now. It was a lively show last week. Let's see if we can have an equally lively one this week. Make sure you join that show. Because even if you're not the hugest UFC fan or the hugest boxing fan, I guarantee you'll like our dynamic. So make sure you join that show. Chig, what's your career mode? I'm making an announcement about FIFA on Sunday. Not quite now. I've got to do a football show again with Ola. I know you guys keep calling for him, so I'll make sure I do one as well. But he's a busy man. I'm surprised he's in the chat room. Mine's always working, always working. Nah, not OT. I would have done an OT. Gosh, I should have gone now. You're right, but I've got a show to do in 10 minutes, and I need to drain the rattlesnake before I actually go on the show. So sorry, too much detail, but you guys did ask. Latoria Martinez, we have more chance of signing Messi. But yeah, of course, great player. I would love us to get him. Nunes or Shevchenko. Leah should ask me on the channel. Chig, he's gone. Chelsea. We've got Louise though. All right, man. I'm off out of here, guys. Make sure you continue drilling that like button, hit that subscribe button. Yes, I do like you, Liverpool. You never walk alone. Yeah, like I say, make sure you click on the Combat Show. The Combat Show, the link is in the description. We go live in 10 minutes. I am literally going to drain the rattlesnake, come back, and set up the show. So make sure you do join us there, and we'll be back later. And that's pretty much it. So take care, people. Peace.